Okay, everybody, welcome to the first ever episode of Streamers Unmasked. So, first off, I'm putting this on YouTube, so if you are enjoying this at all, like, subscribe, do whatever you gotta do, and all that fancy stuff before I forget to tell everybody, because I will forget to tell everybody. So, why Streamers Unmasked, guys? Streaming is really, really hard. It's not the easiest thing to do. It takes a lot of mental fortitude, and every day that you go to stream, you can go in and there can be nobody. You can go in and there can be everybody you know. But every day is a chance for you to connect with people, but it's also a chance for you to miss that mark and not really connect with people. And that can sometimes be disheartening, especially, whether you go up and then down, or whether you just never get anywhere. So streaming is very, very hard, and streamers are real people with real lives and real feelings, which is kind of where this comes into. So I want to start every episode with this. It's a poem by Paul Laurence Dunbar called We Wear the Mask. It goes, "We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts we smile, and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but oh great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh the clay is vile beneath our feet and the mile. But let the world dream otherwise, we wear the mask." So where does this come into Streamers Unmasked? Well, every day we go in, obviously we're real people and we give you as much of our real selves as possible, but still we come on, we wear the mask. We come in here, we put on a brave face, even if we are having the hardest of days, and we try our best to make sure that the stream is entertaining for you guys. So what streamer do we have? What epic, amazing, wonderful streamer are we going to be unmasking today on this very first episode, this very special episode of Streamers Unmasked? Wait, let me see.
Is it time for my interview yet?
Dude, you're not interviewing anybody today. Sorry about that. So I don't know where that guy came from. I don't know where that. So, who are we unmasking today? One of my favorite streamers, one of the very first people I connected with on Twitch. His name is Liljoeyjojo, everybody. Welcome in, Liljoeyjojo. And you should be good now, bud.
Hey. Good to see you, Zelly. Good to see you, chat. How you guys doing? It has been so long.
Been too long, Joey.
Thank you so much for having me, Zelly.
And let me try to spell your name right.
Long time. Yeah, I'm going red in the face. I'm nervous today. It's been so long since I've been on Twitch. A couple of months now.
Oh man, that makes two of us. I'm very nervous myself for this. I've been all right. Been trying to do, you got the podcast going on. You are our lovely, wonderful guest. Our first ever guest. I appreciate you so much for coming on, guys.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing a little podcast or something.
Yeah, we had been. We had been before the demise of everything that came in. Yeah, Bree's gonna cry. Basically says hi. Oh man.
Hey Bree, good to see you. Agent, good to see you. Rebecca. There's a bunch of people in here that I am a bit unfamiliar with, but there's a lot of names that I have missed. Thank you so much for coming along, guys, for the chat.
Oh man, this is awesome. I'm so glad you came on. So just a little about Liljoeyjojo. He's an amazing Aussie streamer. Let me pull out the questions because I'm bad. I need to get the questions up. There we go. What were they trying to say? I was trying to say all the things I like about Joey. Joey, awesome streamer, who was actually one of the very first streamers to follow me. He helped me get affiliated one way or another with all the cool follows and let me into his warm and welcoming community. If there was anybody who I looked up to at the start of my streaming career, it was probably Joey, for just being such a nice and awesome, welcoming guy. So I appreciate that, Joey.
Yeah. Zelly, you and I started around the same time at the start of last year. When you started, I remember you didn't have a webcam at the time. You were doing Dark Souls speed runs. And I think I found you on Twitter and decided to go and check you out. And I really, I thought you were awesome right from the start. Without a webcam, you still were able to engage the chat. And, you're talking about all sorts of rubbish. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah. We've
I
known each other for a
appreciate
while.
that. The Dark Souls speedruns that are now way, way in the past as far as my content goes. So the way this works for you, Joey, and for everybody else, so there's three main categories. There's going to be, we're going to start off in like real life and icebreaker, move into gaming, and then some streaming stuff. I'll probably keep it light on the streaming stuff for obvious reasons. But and
I'm
there'll
happy to
be
talk about streaming stuff.
there'll be chances for absolutely everybody to ask some questions. Please be respectful, guys. If you want to ask a question, make sure you get it in the right topics. It's going to go IRL/real life, then gaming, then streaming. We'll try to get 3 questions in each category and give everybody a chance to ask questions. This is going to be a little bit different than last week because I have a guest, so hopefully I don't blow this.
Zell, I was going to ask a question to me, and you guys in the chat can tell me. To me, a podcast is like more audio. So, are you transferring this into an audio podcast and putting it somewhere?
I need to look into
Is
that
the plan?
because this is so kind of spur of the moment when I started. I literally last week I barely got everything put into place for this and then for the gaming god that I created for my stream. So for now, I'm not doing that, but I can rather easily. I don't really know the outlets to put it on. So YouTube, I've noticed the podcast from last week, even without anybody on it, was like my killer slam dunk piece of YouTube content. Literally the first kind of literally like just like if you look at any of the analytics on YouTube, I know you know what they are, like watch time, average percentage, click through rate, all that kind of bullshit. Like it literally went just so much above anything else I'd put on there. And I think it's because it's a little bit more consumable in that form.
Yeah. Who in the chat watched the first episode where Zelly was talking to Hades? I thought that was entertaining. Yeah, I watched actually, I think I watched the whole thing. Like it was an hour or so. I watched it. Yeah, and I did notice that as well. Yeah, you definitely had some additional viewers on last week's podcast for sure.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to be uploading these to YouTube and stuff, and then maybe Spotify I'm seeing. I don't know what else we would release it on. So as long as that's not too terrible to do, I will look into that at some point.
Yep. Yeah.
But
nice.
how have you been doing, by the way? How has everything been going since you've taken your hiatus, if you will?
Yeah. So those of you who don't know me, I am Liljoeyjojo. For most of last year, I streamed regularly, Twitch affiliate, but I ended up taking a bit of a break from January or so. Would you say, guys? For the last couple of months, I'm still sort of lurking here and there, but just have taken a step back. I've got a young family and increased workload and stuff like that, so I've just taken a bit of a break. But yeah, I've been good, Zell. Been keeping busy, mate. Yeah, no Twitch, no YouTube, not a lot of social media at all. More focused on, I guess, the physical, my family and getting out and about in the sunshine and all of that stuff.
Well, I appreciate that you're enjoying your time with the kids and everything. Space is gonna lurk like cries. That's one of the questions I have. You have a family, you have a wife, you have 2 kids, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 little girls, 2 and 3 years old. They're growing every day, and they take up a lot of time, as you know. I caught the end of your kids' stream there. I couldn't do that.
Oh no! Oh man, that was a little lovely piece of chaos that we had here.
I could barely get a cat onto the stream for 5 minutes when I was streaming. That was a challenge.
Does the same thing yours does. My cat, like literally, if I put her up here, she didn't like the lights though. Your cat might have been the same because I have all these like cool lights. The moment I turned her face around, she's just like darted for it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that so much. Yeah, I don't think she wanted to sit on me. She was a kitten at the time, so she wanted to get out and explore.
So, speaking of kids, how is for me, the whole pandemic and stuff, one of the biggest things that was affected by it was my kids and what I could do with them. Like, I kept my job and everything, and most of that was actually mostly the same for me. But how was it having kids during the pandemic? That was a big part of the reason why I wanted to have you on. Kids co-stream, and then obviously another loving father coming on with just the perfect mashup of timing there.
Well, I started streaming last year when coronavirus crap happened, and we were all sitting at home. I mean, I think you guys over in America are probably still fairly limited in what you can do
Very
outside.
limited.
But I'm in Australia, and we've been very lucky or blessed or something. We haven't had a whole lot of limitations here. So my kids have been able to go to daycare a little bit regularly, for the past 12, 24 months. And we've been able to go outdoors and go to parks and swimming and the beach. And we've been away for holidays this year. And I don't mean to rub it in, but
No, you're good.
but yeah, we've been able to leave the house a little bit more and go out and do some stuff as a family. So it's been really nice to do that this year. Last year, with the coronavirus being stuck at home and being fairly limited in what we could do, that's when I had the most time to do streaming. But it also meant that we were locked indoors a lot.
Are you trying to say that the Australians over there handled the coronavirus a little bit better than we did, Joey? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I saw that, George. I think if you guys don't know Australia much, it's a big island. So on all sides is an ocean, and I think it's fairly difficult to get over here unless you have permission or unless flights are coming over.
I think you guys did a really good job of just stopping it in the bud. Whereas a lot of what we were doing here was ignoring it and kind of spreading the ignorance to a point where it's still unmanageable here. Like even right now we're lowering restrictions as cases still keep rising. So yeah, I'm glad that you didn't have to deal with too much of that.
Yeah, we've had a little scare here and there, but nothing compared to what you guys are dealing with. So,
Oh my goodness. So, I don't know how to word this question. I'll go for it though. So, are you a college boy, Joey? Are you a college boy? If so, what did you study?
Yeah, when I guess I don't know if there's a bunch of viewers here that are still in high school or just out of high school. When I just finished high school, I had no idea what I was going to do with my life, and still don't. All I decided was I was going to study something that I was good at. I was good at legal studies at school, or justice studies, or whatever it was called. So I thought I'd try and get into law, but I didn't get like the grade cut off to get into law. So I studied like a more basic law for a year or two. Failed it because I didn't pay attention and didn't attend class and stuff like that. Transitioned into something called human movement studies. I don't know if you've heard of that, Zell.
I think it's that you were talking to me about like ergonomics and stuff like that, like physical health almost.
Yeah, physical health. What I do now is injury management. So people injure themselves at work at the company that I work for, and I help them get back to work. So I talk to their doctors and I talk to their managers and develop like a plan to get them back to work. But yeah, I did study. I finished a university degree. I've got a bachelor's degree in human movement studies, applied sciences. Yeah.
It sounds very similar to my school journey. I actually started in mathematics and then eventually I transitioned to accounting. But
mathematics.
Yeah, dude. You've not lived until you've done some linear algebra and third year differential equations.
Bloody hell.
Oh man.
I couldn't imagine.
So is your work remote, or do you go somewhere and you do that?
Well, I work from home at the moment. So I'm working part-time a few days a week, and then I look after my kids a day a week. And then, as the transition happened, I was planning on dropping my streams to 2 days a week on a Thursday and a Saturday here in Australia. But now, I took a step back, and now I've just got the Thursdays free. So yeah, part-time working from home.
Well, that's good. Do you have any hobbies outside of streaming when you did that? What kind of hobbies do you have, bud?
Good question. I don't have heaps of hobbies besides I love video games, love TV. My kids and my family all go out and we spend a fair bit of time together at the moment, going to parks and exploring the world. What else are my hobbies?
Video games. That was I used to video games.
Yeah, I used to be fairly into sport, which is how I got into human movement studies. So I grew up playing soccer and cricket. I love tennis. I've played a bit of golf in my time. But yeah, probably video games at the moment.
I don't worry. I don't have any hobbies outside of streaming. It's literally streaming, video games. You want to consider that a separate hobby, and that's about it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, TV and video games. Sleeping, eating.
What's your favorite TV show then?
At the moment, Lozzie Bears, my wife, and I are watching, what's it called? New Girl. The comedy show New Girl. But before that, we were watching The Scrubs, How I Met Your Mother. Rick and Morty is one of my favorites. I think Rick and Morty could possibly be my favorite, as well as Community. Have you guys seen Community?
Community.
Or Zell, have you seen
Wait,
Community?
Okay, is that only in America? I know The Office was in America and UK. I think there was a Community in the UK too. I'm not sure though. Community with Donald Glover though.
Community, yeah, Donald Glover, yeah. But I didn't realize, but Community was developed or is written by the same guy who has written Rick and Morty.
Oh, really?
I didn't realize that until like this year sometime. Yeah.
I don't think I would ever known that.
Yeah, I guess there's a similar type of humor. It's probably why I love both of those shows. Yeah.
So
what
how's
about
the
you, Zell? What's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Probably Futurama. I've seen almost all the Futurama. I appreciate that green screen glass you got there too, by the way. Probably Futurama. Yeah. I watch it when I go to bed. I know, like, people will say random stuff that happen. And I'll, like, just immediately in my head, it just goes to Futurama. Like, they'll say something, I'm like, oh, that sounds exactly like something that happened in one of the 400 episodes of Futurama that I've seen.
Yeah, I love Futurama too, but I haven't watched it past maybe the 4th season. I think it went off the air after the 4th season for a while. And
it went off the air, and then it came back with a couple of movies, and then it came back with a couple of movies, and then it got a couple more seasons until eventually they just stopped making episodes. I guess I don't 100% know what happened there. It's a shame. Yeah. They should definitely come back.
Great show. Good show. Are you a fan of Rick and Morty?
I actually no. I don't.
No?
I don't like most like adult animated shows. I don't like Adventure Time. I don't like Rick and Morty.
Okay.
I definitely don't like American Dad or Family Guy or anything that McFarlane's done.
Coffee says, yeah, it's sad. Which part is sad?
It's Coffee's sad to be Futurama. Yeah, Coffee's my way. It's sad that Futurama stopped making episodes.
Has Zell disappeared or have I disappeared?
I think the stream disappeared. That's awesome. Everything else is working though. That's an OBS failure. Oof, of course. Yeah, that's just Twitch or OBS just crashed. That's all. Just a little bit of a hiccup. My apologies.
That's okay. I think I've paused for a sec.
Yeah, everything paused. The screen paused. The only thing that I could hear was Discord call still. Adventure Time isn't for adults. Adventure Time is definitely for stoners. Yeah, we're back. Sorry about that, everybody.
Who said that about Adventure Time?
My brother, Ryan. Or who said it was
Ryan?
Who said it was for adults? I said it was for adults.
I don't know if I like Adventure Time, but I think Adventure Time's the type of show that I'd get my kids into once they're, I don't know, 10 or something.
Oh man. Okay, so do you have cable then, or are you one of the Netflix cut the cord kind of people?
Cable is in like Foxtel. Do you mean?
Like network shows, like the big shebang, like the paying $100 for your cable television with a DVR and all that stuff.
Nah,
you just seemed offended by that idea. You look like you're like, no, never.
Yeah, I've heard Foxtel like costs $100 a month. I don't know why. I don't. Do you?
No. I have Netflix and Hulu, and I can't.
Nah.
I like to control what we're watching.
$100 on a game. $100 a game.
I don't even spend $60 on a game. I just get all my stuff cheaper. I don't play it. Like Hades, I played it months late, and then you see how that's going. I'm only down to 12 minutes on the runs. I meant to turn those off.
12 minutes on your Hades speedrun. Is that better than Neff?
Better than Neff? No, he's a minute ahead of that. I need to fix that. I apologize, Joey. It's not supposed to be making noises.
I can't hear anything, buddy.
Oh, you can't hear it? Oh no, because you're in Discord, so it made a whole bunch of noise on the stream, and you just need to fix that. So, where was I at? I'm terrible at this, by the way. It's okay. We're working through this.
Just snip these bits out.
I don't know how to edit, so this is just going fully uncut, including the crash and everything. And then one day I'll learn to edit, and it won't be so scuffed.
Are you using some sort of editing software?
No, I literally just
about all sorts of junk.
I ripped them off of Twitch and then I put them right onto YouTube.
Yeah. I guess that's saves a lot of time. I've got a YouTube channel, as you know, and I was using a program called Wondershare Filmora. If you ever are interested, and I know there's a bunch of free versions as well that you can use. But I mean, I've got no technical ability, and I was able to edit. You know, you can sort of cut out slices of video pretty simply. Doesn't take a lot of effort.
I think for now it's more about the time it would take in order to do something like that. I would just have to. What did I just do? I did not mean to do that at all. Oh my, so scuffed. I'm trying to get this so I can set the audio in. I know how to do this every other time. Yeah, there we go. Control audio, no. I know how to do this otherwise, but of course I can't do it this time. We're going to do that, and then we are going to mute that so that won't ever make any sounds again. So no, I just, it's the time thing. It's not that I don't think I'd be able to do it. My wife was actually talking to me recently about looking into that, and maybe it's just, there's so much going on. It's kind of difficult to get all of that going right now. Maybe eventually I will, like maybe once if YouTube's ever a little bit more of a thing I worry about. As I said, the first episode of the podcast was like the first thing that ever even happened there. It had it only had like 10 times the amount of like hours viewed as literally anything else or any two pieces put together.
Yeah, it's slow, hey. It's really slow.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things.
As far as the growth, I mean, YouTube.
No, that's one of the things that actually I have it in a little bit later to talk about. But some of the things that you get told and then like to do, like start a YouTube that'll make you grow on Twitch, and then you start your I think your YouTube is one of the ones that's done better than some I've seen, but I've seen other people like literally nothing there. Like they'll just sit on the YouTube and they'll try to come up with separate content for Twitch and YouTube, and then that'll be like a whole like pain in the ass that never gets them anywhere either.
Yeah, it's really hard. I don't know if I've spoken about how much time I used to spend on YouTube and Twitch, but last year I didn't have a job. I was mostly looking after my girls, but I was, at the start of the year, I was streaming 5 days a week. Every night I was working on a YouTube video per week. There were 2 or 3 half days a week where I was either upgrading Twitch or, recording my voice or video for my YouTube video. It was very, very time consuming.
Yeah, and you did pretty good with the editing and stuff there too, which must have taken like just a little bit more time at least.
Took me ages, but I loved that video. In the YouTube part, it was pretty. It wasn't really hard. It was just time consuming. Like I'd spend most nights for a couple of hours each night, editing bits and pieces and trying to find great sound effects or video clips and stuff like that. It was just time consuming.
So, what's one of the most embarrassing things that ever happened to you, school, work, or otherwise? You want to share a little piece of the Liljoeyjojo action with us?
Yeah, I do. I love to be embarrassed. Thanks, Zil. The thing that popped into my head when you asked, I was in high school, like grade 10 or something like that. Just finished lunch, went into like maths class, and the school desks, when you were sitting at your school desk, it had like a rung where your feet sort of used to sit.
Yeah, like that little metal thing.
I was sort of scraping my feet on that just because it was fun to do, just sort of scraping my feet. And the teacher wandered over and he said, "You got dog shit all over your shoe, Michael." My name's Michael.
Oh no.
And there was just piles of dog shit being scattered on the floor underneath the underneath the school desk, and I had to stand up and I just walked out and cleaned it. But that was embarrassing for a grade 10 kid trying to look cool.
And that was only like 5 years ago, man. So like that must be really sore in your mouth. I'm trying to age you gracefully, Joey. 5 years.
That was for those of you who don't know me.
Oh man,
do you want to guess my age? Do you guys know how old Zelly is?
Yeah, how old is Zelly and how old is Joey?
This will come up at the end, I guess. Anyway, Zell, when we expose the mask,
when we reveal the mask. Oh man, I know all this stuff. Bree's just like I'm a knowledge tycoon.
But this happened to me over 20 years ago.
Or 20 years ago. Yeah. You're like, are you 40? Not quite.
And it's still the first thing that popped into my head is that specific moment. So, yeah.
Oh, man. Joey 25, Zell 100. Appreciate it. I wasn't expecting that to come out.
Zelly. Yeah.
Oh, man. So, pretzels, yes or no, Joey?
Pretzels?
Pretzels, yes or no?
We don't really have pretzels here in Australia. I have tasted like we get little tiny ones that you can get in a packet. So I'll say yes to those. They've got like big chunks of salt on them. But we don't really have like the big, like the size of your head type pretzels here much in Australia. What about you, Zell? Are you a pretzel fan? Why pretzels?
Oh, it was just supposed to be a random question that you were just supposed to be confused about and say yes or no, and you definitely took my question and went like, you know what, Sel? Here's an analyzation of that.
The real question.
Yeah. I'm a very big fan of pretzels with cheese, the little hard pretzels. I didn't realize that they didn't have any pretzels there, but also you guys eat stuff like Vegemite that
Vegemite. Yep.
I don't
Have you tried Vegemite before?
So I actually, when I was camping, I used to go to camp when I was little. It's called Camp Super Kid because I have asthma, like pretty severe asthma, and it was for stuff like that. So I had a counselor who was from New Zealand who ate it, and it kind of, I was young and it turned me off of it for my life, whole life, because it smelled bad. I tasted a little bit of it. It was like the grossest thing I'd ever tried at that point in my life, other than maybe like black licorice.
Yeah. Did you have a spoonful of it, or did you smear it very thinly on buttered toast?
Oh no, it was just like a little like a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Not even a spoonful.
Wrong way to eat it, mate.
No.
That's
the
not
wrong
how
way
you eat it.
You need butter too. I didn't hear about this butter trick. Maybe sometime if I ever find it.
Toast, good chunk of butter on it, a very thin smear of Vegemite.
This is too far away.
Change your life.
All right, so
we got a couple of questions here.
We do have a couple of questions. How is Kitty? Seemed like a great one to start with.
Kitty? Brianna asks, "How is Kitty?" So we bought a cat just probably Christmas time. I think the girls got a cat for Christmas. We struggled. I got a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and then my wife and I. We had like 8 names for this cat when we first bought it. I can't even remember what some of them were. Brianna, do you remember? And for those of you who don't know, Brianna is still one of my favorite Twitch people, and actually was my mod before Zelly, I think.
Yes,
right?
yes. She was your mod. I stole her
long time.
And ran with it.
Actually, we'll talk about my highlight of my Twitch career. I'm assuming, Zell, because I've got a story for you guys. What was I going to say? We ended up settling on Kitty as the name of our cat. She's doing pretty well, Brianna. I'll probably get a bit of flack for this, but I don't think we're great cat people. She's a bit annoying. Don't tell the cat that. She touches you all the time and wants to spend time.
You mean the things that most people like about cats? You're just like, stay away from me.
Yeah. She just, like, when you want a bit of space, she just
she don't give a fuck.
Your chest and
nope.
Hey, Brianna, can I have her? You could, Brianna. Actually, if you lived around the corner, we would probably take her around easily.
So George is curious, by the way. He said that Australia is high up on his post-corona travel goals. Are there any locations that you would say he can't miss if he travels to Australia?
There are so many cool places to visit, George. Is it George or Jorge?
It's George. It's by Curious George. Like George the monkey from Curious George.
Curious George. Yep, my kids love Curious George. And Jack Johnson, who sings the theme song for Curious George, is Australian.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah. I think he's Australian. Maybe I'm
Like a
wrong
little
about that.
mini Linky quiz we just had going on.
Anyway,
Curious Jordan.
Places to visit by Curious George. I think Australia must be one of the best places to visit in the world. There's nothing like it, huh? Amazing animals. I live in a state called Queensland. There's beautiful sandy beaches here. We went out to the Botanic Gardens here this morning with the family, Zell. Not a single cloud in the sky, like 30 degrees Celsius, nice sunny day, not a cloud in the sky. It was beautiful today.
That's not our life at all.
Ayers Rock, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. There's a lot of cool places around Sydney and New South Wales, like Sydney and Melbourne, I guess, are the 2 greatest known cities in Australia that you should definitely check out. There is heaps to see. Australia has 7 states, I think, Agent? I think 7.
Sounds about right.
Beautiful place to visit.
I have clouds over my head all the time where I live. I actually live in one of the cloudiest places. So you're sitting there like, not a cloud in the sky. I'm like, I think he knows.
Yeah. What's the weather like there? At the moment?
I live up north, so it's cold, cloudy, and cloudy. We got like record snowfall this year.
Really?
Yeah,
so
it
you
was.
Know what? Go on. Record snowfall.
Yeah, that's it. What do you guys say?
I was going to say I've never seen the snow.
Oh, well, I mean,
don't have snow here.
Yeah, look at that. We got snow. Yeah, Australia, we got some snow. You might have kangaroos and shit, but we got really cold stuff that makes you crash. So cool.
Yeah. I really want to check out the snow, but I've heard it starts to get annoying after a while, right?
It's fun when it comes down for like the children and stuff when it's nice, and then it gets disgusting. And yeah, you're right. Snow not worth it. Yeah, my wife says snow's not worth it, so she's the end all be all for that. So
yeah, you're wet all the time and snow angels.
Well, you're not like wet all the time. It's not like you're not just infinitely wet. Like we have different clothing that prevents us from getting wet. We don't just go out in our shorts and our sneakers.
Okay.
Oh man, but last question for this though is if you had any hobbies you could get into, any hobbies you're interested in getting into, what would they be? Outside of streaming and obviously video games.
I used to love soccer, or do you guys call it soccer over there?
Yeah, we call it soccer.
In Europe.
We know it's football over there.
Yeah, and I was pretty decent at it as well, but for some reason, like in high school, I gave it up. I think we moved cities or something like that, and my friends were more into Dungeons and Dragons and sort of staying in and playing video games and whatnot. So if I could start a hobby again, I've always, every year I talk to my wife about it, sort of saying, maybe I should join soccer this year. If I could do something, it'd be soccer.
Probably a really good one. So I guess it's time to move on to some of the gaming questions, shall we? You ready for that?
Let's do it. I am ready.
So do you like video games, sir?
I do like video games.
So would you call yourself a nerd?
Yes, I would. Yeah, for sure.
Well, what is your favorite video game of all time?
I thought you'd ask me this. I'm going to say 2. The one that I speak about recently that I've played through more than any other that has like an actual story and development and stuff like that is Hollow Knight. I think Hollow Knight is almost my favorite game of all time. I love the visual aesthetic. I love the sound design. I love the gameplay elements. I love the really tight controls. And I love that feeling of progression in the game as well. So I loved Hollow Knight. It's for my YouTube channel. It was one of the first YouTube videos that I did was how-to guides for Hollow Knight, as you know. And I know you're a big fan as well, but yeah, Hollow Knight's one of my big ones. And then probably the game that I've spent the most time on over the years that doesn't really have a story, but I just love it anyway, is Twitch Please Work, says Stream Elements. Hearthstone. I'm a big fan of Hearthstone.
Oh yeah, I know you like that one. That's like the one that you didn't ever. So I remember watching you play Hollow Knight, and I appreciated what I liked about you playing Hollow Knight was watching you go through it
How bad I
in
was.
a very patient way. No, you were so patient with it. You would do like fights, and you would like you wouldn't get hit and stuff like that. See me, I'm just like in there, and I'm just like do trying smacking on people and stuff. But you were like you do an entire fight without getting hit, and it was pretty awesome to see. And then I know you were into Hearthstone. I remember you streaming that a couple of evenings for yourself over there in Australia.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm definitely a nerd. I've played Hearthstone. Like Hearthstone releases like an expansion every 6 months or so, and I
Like a new
love that
season.
collecting. Yeah, new season. I love that collecting sort of gameplay element. Like I've played a lot of FIFA as well. Like the FIFA games, you collect cards that are sort of the players. Hearthstone's the same. I'm playing one at the moment, Marvel Puzzle Quest, which is the same sort of thing. I love that collecting piece. Yeah.
So what video games
and then Hearthstone, I mean, I'm not an amazing gamer, but yeah, I just fell in love with Hollow Knight. Yeah.
Are you a fan of the OP decks in Hearthstone though, or do you prefer to make up your own stuff?
The OP decks?
Yeah, like the cookie cutter you just take from the top people, or are you like more of a go in and get your own strategy and then learn how to play like that kind of guy?
I don't necessarily play the top decks. Like if anyone's a Hearthstone fan, I hate the aggro decks, like the ones that just attack the face and try and win the game very quickly. I'm more a fan of what's called control decks. So they're a little bit quirkier, I guess. I do use like online. If you don't use the online best versions of decks, Zell, then you lose more.
Yeah.
And that sucks. I don't like to lose. I'm a bad loser. So I do go and find the top decks, but I don't use necessarily the aggro ones. I find more of the sort of the control-y ones.
When I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, I was always a fan of the control decks and stuff, so I completely get it. Like taking stuff taking stuff away from the other person or discarding their cards or something usually would be more fun for me than just literally going in and just going boo 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 boo.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hearthstone has the same sort of premise, I guess, as Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering. Some of my favorite ones are the ones where you stuff up your opponent's deck, like you pull a key card from their deck and then they can't play their deck anymore. I love that sort of stuff.
So, what games are you currently hooked on right now, if any? Then still playing Hades or?
No, I haven't been playing a whole lot. Like, I don't get heaps of time to play video games.
Yeah.
Mostly what I've been playing at the moment is, I guess, a bit of Hearthstone on my phone. Like, it's a lot of mobile phone games at the moment. I've been playing this one that I've fallen back in love with called Marvel Puzzle Quest, which no one will know what it is, but it's like a match 3 puzzler that you play on your phone. But I'm a big Marvel fan, superheroes and whatnot. And you sort of collect covers. It's like an RPG / match 3 puzzler that can be a bit competitive as well. So I've just been playing a fair bit of that.
Are you a PC Master Race guy, or are you more of a console person? I think you just nailed Space Lee's question right there, by the way. He asked what you were playing over hiatus. Yeah, he asked what you were playing over hiatus, and you just nail on the head.
It's pretty much just that. Like Marvel Puzzle Quest is all I've been playing. But yeah, I haven't. There's no recent games that have really jumped out at me. Like I was playing Cyberpunk 2077 when it first came out.
Yeah.
I played a tiny bit of like Baldur's Gate 3. I loved Hades. Hades was awesome last year.
Hades is still awesome right now.
Yeah, but there's nothing really that's come out this year that's really grabbed me. I really wanted Silk Song to come out, the Hollow Knight sequel. If that had come out in January,
so long, right?
Yeah, if it had come out in January, I probably wouldn't have stopped streaming. I probably would have just transitioned to that. But there's nothing that's really exciting me at the moment as far as console gaming.
I mean, I also like dropping 500 on the new console. I already decided which one I want. So which one? How about we'll start with this: Xbox or PlayStation? What do you think is better at this point? You can also pass if you have no opinion.
I own both of the old ones. So I've got an Xbox One and a PS4 and a Switch and a Wii U and a PC. So I try to play everything. I think the quality of games, like the PlayStation exclusive games, are better. But you know what I love about the Xbox, and I've talked about this many times on the stream. Microsoft Game Pass shits all over the other ones, PlayStation Plus and
Well, they have a PlayStation
Nintendo
Now
Switch
that I
Online
think
or
is
whatever.
really similar to PlayStation Now is really similar to the Game Pass, but they didn't have that originally.
Yeah, what, the PlayStation Plus? PlayStation Plus, you get like 3 games for free per month, I think,
Yeah,
and
but
they
the
rotate
PS
and
Now is
change.
just like the Game Pass, where you get to play all sorts of games like BioShock, Eternal Sonata, Hollow Knight's on there. There's a ton of them. It's literally
On
just like the
PlayStation
Game Pass.
Plus. Oh,
PlayStation
is it?
Now. Yeah, it's basically a carbon
PlayStation
copy.
Now.
Yeah, they have
So
basically the same thing now.
you know what? We don't get PlayStation Now in Australia.
Oh no, that's not fair.
So yeah, so I had PlayStation Plus all of last year, but I stopped it because all I got was 3 games per month, and usually I'd played them
Yeah,
before
usually they're
they
one what you already had
came
because they were
out.
big like a while ago.
Yeah. Chili, how you doing, buddy?
Um, what was the first console you ever had?
I had a Sega Master System 2, which had Alex the Kid in Miracle World. Did you ever play that?
First Sega system I had was Genesis, I believe, and then I had a Saturn.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have either of those. I grew up with PlayStations, Sony PlayStation 1, 2, 3, etc. Never really had any Nintendo games, so I never got to play any of the Zeldas and whatnot until recently. But yeah, Sega Master System 2 with Alex the Kid.
So what was the first game you ever fell in love with then?
Final Fantasy 7. So
Yes. No
so,
and yes and no all at the same time.
what's that?
I said no, yes, and no all at the same time.
So
No, because
Final
it's 7
Fan-
instead of 8. Yes, because it's Final Fantasy.
yeah. Yeah. You're a big fan of Final Fantasy 8.
Final Fantasy
Aren't
8's
you?
the first game that I ever fell in love with, actually. It's really what made me interested in JRPGs and video games in general for the most part, so...
Yeah, I feel the same way about Final Fantasy 7. So I remember coming back from like a trip to see my dad. My parents are divorced, with my 2 younger brothers, and we got home. We had a bit of money to spend. We had a Sony PlayStation, and we had a choice between Time Crisis that had like the light guns. Do you remember that one? And Final Fantasy 7. And I convinced my 2 brothers to get Final Fantasy 7 instead of Time Crisis. And they ended up going out and playing outside, and I ended up staying inside and getting bed sores and playing Final Fantasy 7 for hundreds of hours.
Oh, it's an amazing game, though. Those are all, like... They're part of what I would call the golden age of Final Fantasy or RPGs or whatever you'd call it. They're so good.
Yeah.
Literally, the
Really
only
good
reason
memory.
8 edges out 7 is because I played 8 first.
What did you think of I know you just finished Final Fantasy 7 remake in the
Oh,
last couple of weeks, was it?
yeah.
What did you think of the remake compared to the original?
So it's like I really, really love the combat. Combat was amazing. It was the slam dunk for me. Slam dunk. Like, I thought it was way better than I expected. I expected to not like the combat because it wasn't turn based. And the story, though, like if I got another hour of them hitting on Cloud in the beginning of the game, I was about to just turn the shit off and play something else. Because they spend like a good out of the like first 5 hours, 2 hours of it is literally all the girls just sitting on Cloud, and I was just like, dude, we get it.
I don't remember that. Like, I did play the first 5 hours or so of Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Only the first 5 hours, though.
Yeah.
Probably
I
because
got to
you
the part where
you couldn't get past them just hitting on Cloud all the time, so you never really got into the fun of the game, Joey.
yeah, I wish I tried to pick it up, but I died. I was in like the subway station or something like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't get
Paper
a single
Mario-
game over on that game.
What's that?
I said I didn't get a single game over when I played it, actually.
Oh, didn't you? Yeah. You're a much better gamer than I am. I admit it, Zell.
The only reason I was laughing when I said that was because the next question on the list was, "Are you good at games?"
Oh, is it? Okay. I'm okay. Like, I can get by.
Are you
But,
are you more of a
I'm not an elite
completionist?
gamer.
Are you more of a completionist? Wow! Oh my god! Oh, are you more of a completionist in games, or are you in for more of a quickie?
I'm not a completionist. I think there's too many games out there. So most of the time, like I'll just play something until I'm bored and then move on.
What are your
Um,
thoughts on Paper Mario, Joey?
yeah, Paper Mario sucks, hey Brianna. Paper Mario was
Man.
okay. The first half was okay. We played Paper Mario on stream for those who weren't there. It was okay, but yeah, it got old quick, hey, and we needed to move on.
It was yeah,
Um,
that's oh man, I remember watching you and Colmere playing it, and it hurt my soul a little bit too.
it got old. The first half was pretty good, but then the little bomb died. Spoilers.
The little bomb
That was
died.
devastating,
No.
right, Brianna? And then yeah, the combat system was just it got old really, really quick. The latest Paper Mario, yeah.
Yeah.
If I could make any game, somebody asked. I think Chewie
Yeah,
asked.
it's if you could make any game, what would it be like?
Yep. Agent, I think I remember you asking me this question when I was streaming earlier in the year or late last year. What did I say? I think I love Metroidvanias. So when I first started my YouTube channel and when I first started Twitch, I was going to only focus on Metroidvania games like Hollow Knight, Ori and the Blind Forest, and what are the other ones? Like Guacamole and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be Metroidvania combined with some sort of RPG mechanic, like leveling up, finding better and better equipment. I know when you were asked this question the other day, Zelly, you said something about Dark Souls-esque
Yeah.
type difficulty scaling. I say, fuck that.
You're going the other way.
That's too hard for me. That's too hard for me. I like difficulty settings. So if it's too hard, I can sort of drop it down a notch. Or just something that I'm not beating my head against the wall on. So
That's fair. I like your answer was
not
really
too
good though. I
difficult.
actually really like that. You came a lot quicker than mine.
I would love to play Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, but they're too hard for me. Like I've played a bit of Dark Souls and loved it, but it gets to a point where it's too hard for me, and I just have to go and play something else. I'd love a difficulty setting on those games.
It's a very big grind to get through them, especially if you're finding it hard in order to grind up the levels or like the fights. Sometimes it can be very difficult, but Metroidvania with RPG mechanics, kind of like Ori in a way.
Sort of like Ori. I mean, I love the Ori games. I love Hollow Knight. So, it'd be similar to that for sure.
You'd want difficulty setting. Would you like it to be kind of darker, or would you want it to be more like light and friendly? The kind of the comparison to like Hollow Knight or Ori and the Blind Forest. Which direction would you take that?
Well, I reckon the Oris are a little bit dark though, right? There's some
I guess yeah, you're right. The
them.
animation is kind of light, but the story does get a little bit.
But I love Hollow Knight. I love the aesthetic of Dark Souls as well and Bloodborne. I love that dark fantasy or even high fantasy vibe. So yeah, it'd be along those lines as well, like swords and shields and magic and magical creatures and whatnot. For sure. Love the sound of that game.
Can't wait to make it and play it, right?
Yeah. Somebody make it quick.
Oh man, so what is your biggest ever accomplishment in gaming?
My biggest accomplishment in gaming. I'd talk about streaming on Twitch. Like it's not specific to any particular game, if that's the direction that you were going in. But I think being a Twitch streamer was a pretty big accomplishment. Hitting Twitch affiliate, and building up a little community, and overcoming some of my own personal insecurities and whatnot. I think took a fair bit for me, and I'm quite I think that was a fairly big achievement.
It is a very big
last year,
achievement
and
in gaming.
I'd love to get back into it in the future. I guess we may talk about it, but if time permits, I guess in the future, and my own self-confidence and motivation and stuff like that improves as well, I'd love to get into it again. But yeah, Twitch streaming for sure is a huge highlight and a huge achievement for me.
Are you sure it's not walking into the Ganon fight on accident?
That was pretty cool too.
Did you win?
That was a good highlight. I think I did win.
That's pretty good. I mean, of course I won. First try every time, right?
I had a bunch of people, in the chat who knew the game back to front. So
yeah,
I had a fair bit of help.
That's what I'm going to do with. What I'm going to do with the Zeldas. Whenever I get to them, is I'm going to be like, okay, everybody help me, because especially the first one. Oh my god, that one. Have you ever played the first Zelda?
A Link to the Past? Is that the first one?
No, it's just Zelda. The Legend of Zelda, the OG on the NES.
No.
Don't ever play it. It's trash. Hot garbage.
I played A Link to the Past last year. I played Breath of the Wild, and I played The Wind Waker. I think that was all. Yeah. Good games. Have you not played them before? I
haven't played any of them yet.
First one,
Eventually, I plan on playing them, but I haven't played any of them yet.
Yeah. Have you got a poll up in your Discord at the moment about which one to play?
I have all the information written down. How do I ban sell? I have all the information written down, and I'm going to be asking people when it gets to that. So currently, we're working for the stream. We're working on Hades. I'm going to try to get an 8-minute speed run. I'm going to try and see how hot I can make the heat. And that's what we're going to be doing. And then obviously with the Fuck It Fridays and the podcast and stuff like that, it's just going to take a little bit longer to get through that. So probably around the end of the month, if not May, will be when we're starting our Zelda playthroughs, stuff like that. I think I'm going to start with number 1 and then be like, listen, guys, you got to come and help me. And then we'll see what people want to see after that.
Yeah. My problem with the Zelda games is, how many days a week are you streaming now?
4.
Like it will take you months, or like it took me ages to get through some of those Zelda games. You probably will be a lot faster than I will, but it'll still take you ages. I
think that's kind of part of the, when you don't have all the time in the world to stream, that's kind of part of the issue, if you will say, with it is like, for instance, either I think I chose to start just playing one game. And I was going to do it 4 days a week, and then I was like, oh, well, how about we do something else on Friday, because Fridays are always a little bit wonky. I mean, it is Friday after all. But it's definitely, how do you navigate? I know, like, you played a ton of Breath of the Wild. Like, how long did you play stream Breath of the Wild for? Months?
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, it was.
And then in a way, with
5 days a week as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then in a way, with how long it takes to get through some of the games, then people will join you for a journey like that, and then you play Hollow Knight, and they're just like, well, fuck this good. I'm gonna go watch another Breath of the Wild stream. It's very hard to get people to like move from one game to the next and everything like that. Yeah,
I was thinking about this sort of stuff because I figured we'd talk a little bit about some of the
we are right on the cusp of that, actually. That was moving on into the streaming section.
What was I going to say? Yeah, the streaming stuff. I guess there's 3 things for me. I was thinking about, and I think there's 3 main things. If it was to come to viewer loyalty, like there's the game. So people come to watch the game, or there's people come to watch you, or there's the community. People come to be part of a community, right? So if they're coming to watch Zelda and they don't like you well enough, or they don't feel part of the community well enough, then when you change games, they may not stick around, and that's the challenge.
It's a big challenge for that, is moving games and trying to. I think I'm going to try to work on that a little bit myself, because there's definitely been there's complications with it. It's not easy to do. I don't know. It's not easy to get everybody to come on that journey with you. It's not so easy to, really, Twitch isn't easy at all, and that's actually a big part of the reason why I kind of am here today. In a way, is trying to get that message out, trying to touch up on that a little bit, if you will. I don't think
Twitch is. Sorry.
No, continue.
I was just going to say, I think Twitch is really, really hard. Like, we're already over an hour into this, and you had already streamed for a couple of hours with your kids, I think. And I end up watching I watch a bit of YouTube, and I liked creating YouTube content, and the great thing about YouTube is that it can be edited, and you can cut out just the entertaining parts. Like, the problem with me on your podcast is that for the past 70 minutes, I've been boring everyone.
Oh, bullshit. Bullshit, Joey. Bullshit. Everybody's here for it.
But
you know how excited everybody was to see you.
There are segments of the last 70 minutes that if you cut out some of it.
Yeah, I mean, like my stream dying and stuff.
So, like, to keep people entertained for 3 hours on Twitch versus like a 10-minute highlight video on YouTube.
And then on top of that, like, getting everybody to come back. Like, no matter whether your decisions about changing games or literally just, it may be like life comes up. Like, for me all the time with my work and stuff, like, oh, I'm going to be a half hour late, and everybody's like, oh, fine, I'll see you when you're on time.
Yeah, that's it. So, I think those three things, like, if you've got an entertaining game that people are addicted to, which can be hard, especially when you're like a variety streamer who does a lot of different games, unless you're like the most entertaining, lovely, charismatic person in the world, then streaming's tough. Or you've got an amazing community of people who love to hang out with each other, which is hard too.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to build up to that point to get people to come along for the entire journey, not for a game. I was killing it with God of War for like 3 weeks in a row, like hitting them 20, 22 views all the time, and then end that, and it's just like everybody's life goes back to normal, and now all of a sudden my streaming times aren't good for most people. They're not. Everybody's going back to work. They got to get up in the morning. I mean, just ask Bree. She hates my stream. She leaves unintentionally all the time. She's just like, oh, God, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's pretty late there at the moment, isn't it?
So 11.
What time is it now?
11, 12 p.m.
That's not too bad, is it? I mean, I guess what I sort of was thinking right from the start was you're going to attract people who want to hang out with you. Unfortunately, there's a lot of competition on Twitch. Like, there's thousands of people streaming at any time. There's also real life, YouTube, TV. Like, you've got it's a battle, I think. It's really hard, and it gets to you. Like, I've taken a bit of a break now, and my mental health was being affected at the end of it. I was struggling with what it sounds like you might be experiencing a little bit at the moment, Zell, with you had some great streams, and then you sort of change games, and it changes the dynamic a little bit. It's hard.
One of the first things I thought of a little bit after God of War was literally just what happened with you and your situation. And I mean, I was right there for it. I was there at the start, and I was there as you slowly but surely got to that 15, 18 view average, whatever you were at with Breath of the Wild. And I was right there when you took a couple weeks off and then came back, and it was like the struggle. And I see it on your face. I see it in your performances on your streams. And I mean, I see it on my own streams too. It's rough.
Yeah. It's really tough. And I don't know the answer to that, but it can be draining.
A mix of work and I think it's a mix of work and luck, man. You can be amazing. I've seen some people be amazing that get nowhere. I've seen some people be right shit, and you'll see them at like 40 views, and you're just sitting there like,
How does that happen?
So speaking of though, moving on to the streaming, how long have you been streaming for then? Like, well,
I think I started in March last year, and it took me until May, I think, to get Twitch affiliate. So I think that's a fairly long time by today's standards.
To get to affiliate?
Back in my day, hey.
I don't think that's
What's
too
that?
long, actually. I think that's just about normal for people. Especially, were you in any sort of a community before you started streaming, or were you like me, where you just jumped in? Or
I just jumped in. And like some of the advice that I'd heard right from the start was just jump in, don't wait until you've got like a webcam and a great setup. Just do it and practice. And that's what I did. Like I didn't have a webcam. I think for my first few streams I didn't even have a mic. It was just me playing games, which obviously that
I think I saw that
I
on your
didn't attract
YouTube.
an audience.
On some of your
Yeah,
original
probably.
YouTube
Yeah.
content, it was almost a shock seeing, because you can see your YouTube video, because you can't go back to VODs, but I saw your YouTube content grow exponentially. I saw some of your first videos that you were doing with no cam, just a mic. Then I saw, oh man, there's a camera now. And then later on, you see the green screen, and then you see your effects and all that other stuff. Like literally, like if you just go through your YouTube channel, if you ever want to go down memory lane, or if anybody wants to go check out Liljoeyjojo's YouTube channel, it's like seeing the growth and the things that you've gained and went through, and then all the different technologies. Because especially as a streamer, you have to respect the time that you put into learning the green screen, the editing, the cameras, the mics, the sound effects, all that stuff. It doesn't just magically appear on the stream.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, and I've gone back and had a look at a bit of my earlier content. Actually, I still get comments on some of my earlier content, like Hollow Knight how-to guides. There's one boss. It's an optional boss. In the first Crossroads bit, I forget what the guy's called. If you picture the map of Hollow Knight in the southwest corner of the Crossroads map, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where you get
There's a boss
the
there.
map in the southwest.
And when I did that how-to guide, I had a shitty mic, so my sound sounded horrible. The editing was atrocious, and I get regular comments on that video on YouTube saying, "This video sucks."
Oh man, that's so brutal.
Yeah, like fix your sound quality. This sucks, and it happens fairly regularly. Like once a month, I get a comment on there. And I used to comment back, reply to say, "Yeah, I know that. Like I upgraded my mic since then, and I think they're a bit better now." But now I just have a chuckle every time I see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't even. So, what got you into streaming then? Is there like a person or an event?
Well, I said that I was unemployed. I had my young family. I was a stay-at-home dad full time up until the start of last year. And my wife and I had started an online personal development business called Charge Connect Grow. And we were doing YouTube content, and mostly my wife was the face of the business and I was doing the editing and stuff in the background. And then coronavirus hit, and then I guess I was sort of contemplating what I wanted to do with my life. And I was thinking about what was important to me and what I love doing. And so I started sort of looking at Twitch and thinking maybe I could have a go at this and have it become something worthwhile. And I would like it. It felt like the ultimate job. Like I would love for Twitch streaming, playing video games, making gaming related content, be something that I could do financially, that would be financially viable, and would be the equivalent of a full-time paid gig. But that's what got me into it. Like I was unemployed and I was looking at opportunities to do something exciting and new and something that I loved. So I got into streaming, thinking I'd have a go at it.
Your camera's having a fit.
Is it?
Oh, it's just getting fuzzy in and out. I think it's the Oh no, I think I did the wrong thing. I think it's the just the ninja from, different continent.
It could be my quality of my internet. Australian internet is known for dodginess. I can't hear you at the moment either, Zell.
Oh really? Oh no, I think I cut it in and out like interesting person. Should be able to hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. It's that Australian internet. So if you could, you would stream full time for a living. I mean, obviously the long shot coordinates of that are rather insane.
Yeah. That was my thought. Like last year, I was loving streaming. I was loving developing YouTube content and editing videos and engaging on social media. I was really enjoying all of that. So if it was bringing in enough money to be sustainable, it would have been awesome. But that wasn't happening.
not any closer here myself either.
No.
So what was
I was going to say, like, I think that the expectations on myself and what happened at the start of last year, as far as that big event that happened, probably set me up a little bit for failure in the end. Like, I just couldn't sustain it.
Yeah. So what was your best stream or best streaming moment ever then?
Well, I think the one that I'll remember forever and talk about forever was in the week that I hit Twitch affiliate. I was playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, and a big Twitch partner, Point Crow, raided me in the middle of a stream, in the week that I'd become Twitch affiliate with like 800 viewers. So I was raided by this massive streamer with 800 viewers. And that, that's something that set me up for, my stream exploded for months and months after that point. Heaps of followers. I had heaps of average viewers at the time. We're having a great time. So yeah, that was a big, big moment for me.
So what was the worst moment then?
The worst moment? I don't think it was a particular moment. Like it wasn't an exact moment, but I think the fallout from that was really tough to take. So I think following that, within a week of me hitting Twitch affiliate, I got rated with 800 viewers and then had a big influx of average viewers. There was a big community sort of feel there. And so I think I felt pretty good about myself. Like I thought I was smashing it. Like I thought I'd nailed it, and
you thought you had solved the equation, and then
that's right.
That's what I mean by the parallels I see though, because you had the Point Crow raid, and then for me I had Cuphead was all right. Like I had that, as I said earlier, I had that God of War content that was just like literally I'd sit here day after day for 2 weeks in a row. It was literally 22 average on top of the world, and then you go live with that next game and then just go.
Yeah. So I think of that Point Crow raid of being like the highlight, one of the best moments, but also on the flip side, I think it was also one of the...
It was a double-edged sword.
Not the worst moments, but yeah, it was a double-edged sword, yeah.
Yeah.
And also my own inexperience with streaming as well. Like my first 3 months was no one or very few people, to then hitting Twitch affiliate and then immediately shooting upwards.
Yeah.
And then thinking that was going to be my future, that was just how it was, and I was amazing at this stuff. And then it declined again eventually, which it just does, I guess, like for those reasons that I mentioned.
I mean, also I
think Breath of the Wild, and a lot of people left.
The streaming times and stuff like that ended up getting into it. It's really like it's that mix of the hard work and the luck that just, as I was saying, like you put all the work into it, and then you got the raid, and then boom, it all come together. And then I think with anybody, not just you or with me, I think you start to feel like you figured it out. I know I've been there. I feel like you've been there. You start to feel like, oh, I figured it out. I've got the equation solved. I know what I need to do. Let's just do more of this, and let's try to do that. And then something shifts, something ethereal in the world that you can't account for, and then all of a sudden it's just like, hey, where does everybody go? And I think that's one of the biggest parts for me is the whole, and it'll keep coming back at you almost, like the whole where did everybody go thing. Like
yeah. And the reality is that it's probably nothing to do with you or me, is it? Like it's like I said, there's a lot of demand on people's time, and there's a lot of competition, and there's a lot of reasons why people may not come to your stream that isn't to do with how good or bad you are at streaming. Like it's just the reality of the whole Twitch.
Their
setup.
life, the Twitch life. I mean, honestly, sometimes it could be a matter of if somebody went live a minute before you or a minute after you or anything like that. So many things you can't control. George said in the chat, no video game has RNG like Twitch, and honestly, that's very true. Like, no video game has that crazy, insane amount of RNG sitting there with it, like Twitch does.
Yeah. There's a lot of randomness in this game. It's a tough one, and for me, really awesome year last year, and I'd love to get back into it again at some stage in the future. But it was draining by the end, and I was struggling mentally, and I was a bit bummed. But I'd love to try it again. But I guess I needed to change my expectations and think realistically about what streaming is. And me personally realizing that I'm probably not. Nowadays, I don't think that I'm good enough to be like somebody who would make this a full-time gig. Like, I think I remember watching like Alpha Gaming YouTube channels, or those guys that talk about Twitch streaming, where like less than 1% of all Twitch streamers make it to partnership, let alone it being something they can sustain financially.
I mean, I think the 1% mark is supposed to be something around like 15 average views. Like, once you hit that 15 average, you're already in the top 1%, let alone partner. So it's like 0.1% end up being partner and stuff like that. And with all the pandemic and everything, it takes an already saturated market. Oh my goodness. Takes an already saturated market and makes it even more saturated. And there we go. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you for the raid, Sumnus. I hope your birthday stream went well. We are in the middle of our towards the end of our Streamers Unmasked podcast, guys. This is the lovely Liljoeyjojo, who very graciously came in and actually agreed to be on my first episode of the podcast. So super appreciated. I mean, seriously though, like, I was ecstatic when you said yes. I don't know if you could tell by my messages, like, oh my god, thank you so much, this is awesome, perfectly. But I appreciate it insanely.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I've had a good time. I love talking about Twitch and gaming, and we'd been talking about doing a podcast for a while, so I appreciate. I mean,
that was one of the things. I think I did a community reward for this, where I was like, okay, well, I know a lot of people who wanted to start a podcast, and I was like, fuck it, I'll be the guy. And like, I decided that like months ago, but then getting, like, honestly, just the first podcast I did took 9 hours to set up. As I said, I appreciate that it went well on YouTube, because it was the single most time-consuming piece of content, and it was also the most nervous I've been. Even today, starting this, when I was switching over from the kids stream, it's the most nervous I've been since I started streaming, almost. Coming in and having guests on the podcast and stuff. It's because it's so different. Yeah.
Well, there's going to be people that will love this sort of podcast interview type sort of thing, and there'll be people that won't. But if you want to do this and you like it, then you'll draw those sorts of people to the channel.
I think what I like about it is, as I said at the start, the conversation, and we've been having that conversation for kind of past 5-10 minutes over, like, it's not just an easy free ride to get here on Twitch, and there's real emotions, feelings, thoughts that you put into it. It's not, and there's no guarantee that what you put in is going to come out, period. Just, it's not like not like your job where you go in, if I work 10 hours, I know exactly how much I'm making. It's very different from that.
Yeah. It's uncertain.
It's very uncertain.
And I love certainty. Yes, being certain in life is something that is really important to a lot of people, and it is to me. So it's something that I struggled with
and especially with a family and stuff, Joey.
Turn up or not? Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And it's like one moment it's going good, and you're like, okay, well, maybe this will be it, and then it doesn't happen, and it's all sorts of weird and stuff. It's rough. It's hard.
Yeah, there's a real lack of control on Twitch.
Serious
how I
lack
felt
of control.
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have any control. You have control over you going live and the things you do. Past that, no control, and that's crazy. That is insane. And even just the attempt to make that happen and the little moments of brilliance when it does happen are amazing. But on the way, even if you even if I do become partnered or above or anything like that, if that ever happens, the downs are real. It's not smooth sailing. It's definitely a bumpy road.
Yeah. And I bet there's a lot of people that are in the chat who stream themselves, so would appreciate you talking about it and being open about it too.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my thing, and you already know about the end. I'm going to give everybody a chance to really speak from their heart, like I did in the first one, which is why I tried to set the example. Spacely would like to know what kinds of streams you would try if you came back, more gaming or some more out of the box kind of stuff. You want to do some podcasts?
Yeah, I would love to do the podcast type style. Before I finished up over Christmas, I was talking to Zelly, I was talking to Falk. Hey, Falk! I don't know who else I was talking to about it, but we were thinking about doing some sort of podcast type four-way interviewee, not interview, just chat, I guess, about all sorts of stuff, life and gaming and Twitch, DMCA and all sorts of crap. I'd love to do that. And I was thinking about it before we did our chat today, Zelly, about what that podcast would involve. But I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, even something simple as the aesthetic, how to set up the video cameras and stuff like that. I wouldn't know where to get started on that. So, like, playing video games was really, really easy.
It is, though. It's a lot. It was a lot easier.
Podcast. Yeah.
But
millions of people are playing video games on Twitch, and that's the challenge. So something I always thought that doing things like the podcast, just chatting, we tried some different stuff, Agent, like community reviews. There were times where we would do like tier lists and stuff like that, just chatting stream.
Did some really good tier lists.
But yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
I mean, you were really nice to the games. Let's be honest, you were really nice to the games. Okay, but you still had some really solid tier lists. You were like, this looks like another S tier game, doesn't it? And then I'm over here like, oh, just put it in the fucking A tier, please. Just one A tier game will worry you.
Actually, Falk brings up a good point. We did the Freaky Friday thing a few times as well, where Falk and I would play a horror game together. Like, I'd chat to Falk while I freaked out with horror games, and he just had a chat with me about it. That was awesome. I love that sort of stuff. So, yeah,
just something different that's not just you throwing yourself in front of the camera doing the same old in a way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'd love to be a bit different. But then, like I say, I feel now like I'm probably not. I'm not great at streaming. I think the reality is that's how I felt when I finished that. I found it hard, and my personality is probably a little bit less entertaining than some.
I mean, I don't know. I think that sometimes you just get the rub of it one way or another, whether it's your fault or not. I think a lot of the fall, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, I don't know how you refer to it in your own head. A lot of it was, as you said earlier, it's just so uncontrollable, like you'd go and you'd be, and then the parts where you can control are affected by the uncontrollable things. Like when you go in and you do the slam dunk stream, and then the next stream is only 5 people, right? And then you come into your next stream, and now you're in your head. And getting out of your own head while you're trying, like, everything that's going on here, you got the chat going, you got the game or whatever you're doing. If you're talking to somebody, you've got the lights in your face, you got the sound effects, you got the, you got these video game gods that are
just coming into your stream like that.
All of that stuff going on at the same time. And
so much going on.
To get out of your own head in that situation and to just say, fuck it, it'll be okay whether or not the same number of people come in and hang out. And even if you hide that viewer count, which was something that Chili said earlier, even if you do hide it, you feel it. You feel it in your chat when your chat's going slow, especially, I know you used to be somebody who got a ton of chat. Like, everybody would just be in there chilling. and then people would slowly but surely disappear, and then they might come back, they might not. So,
Yep. Got to me in the end, I think.
What
so
is the
yeah, if I can overcome that, I'd love to come back. I'd love to do this again. I'd still love to do the 4-way sort of chatting about all sorts of nonsense with Falk and a few others. Like if you're ever looking at doing something like Zell or you're looking to set that up, I'd love to be a part of it.
sounds amazing, actually. I've also I asked some questions at the start of this about how many guests you should have on, and I didn't like. I was like, oh, should there just be one, or should it be two, or I don't even know. See, I'm just as bad at podcasts as I am at Twitch. I didn't look into them before I started one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, I can see the value in doing like a 4-way thing, or a one-on-one chat. I don't know. Test it out. You might find that the 4-ways are amazing. Yeah, Agent
Basically loves the 4-way. He'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah.
What was the
I can
continue?
A roundtable discussion is fun, but has to be well thought out. One-on-one. Yeah, I guess one-on-one. You and I are the only ones trying to talk back and forth and talking over each other. 4-way might be a bit harder.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot about how you control it and everything else, and it's a lot easier to be like, okay, you go, or whatever, especially if you start accidentally talking over each other, because all you can use for the cues is, I mean, I'm looking right at you, actually, when you're, like, up big screen, I'm, like, basically looking at your face, which is nice, because I haven't seen Joey's face in so long, but, like, it kind of looks like, I'm just looking at you, where it's, like, if there's like a 4-way, it's like, I don't know, especially over Discord and stuff. I can't even get a game of Among Us to work properly while you're trying to do the end round discussion.
Yeah. Actually, that is tough.
What is the biggest Twitch controversy then that caught your attention and or impacted you? Because I heard you say the DMCA thing, but I don't know. I don't think that really impacted you.
It did, actually. Yeah, I think the biggest Twitch controversy? I think that one. The DMCA stuff was something that I followed quite closely. I did a YouTube video about DMCA, I think. And I love to upgrade my stream. I had sound effects and GIFs and videos and cutaways and all sorts of random stuff on my stream. But I had to look at my stream really closely around that time because it was very complicated. It was a bit scary as well as a streamer. So I think that was the big one for me. Like I would love, and actually over Christmas I did some Twitch sings.
Oh, I guess that's true. And you couldn't do that anymore.
I love that. I can't do that anymore.
I guess I took away like about a lot of sound clips just to get ahead of it. Like I had all sorts of Futurama stuff that I was just like, nah, never mind. And then I finally get the freaking Stream Deck up, and I don't even have those anymore. I mean, I do have ones that are in the actual Stream Deck now, but
yeah, like it was something that was very uncertain, had the potential to be quite significant. Like it was. I thought it was quite scary at the time.
Yeah.
I still don't really know. Like I still see copyright stuff on Twitch all the time. It feels like so.
Yeah.
I still don't quite know what the law is. I thought it was just very complicated and interesting and scary, and it affected me because I did change a few things on my stream as well at the time, and I can't even remember what other controversy. I can't even say the word.
I guess that one definitely has taken over so much of it.
Oh, you talked
strikes?
About the mid ad stuff. Yeah, I mean the ads. Are
the mid ad
fucking
stuff.
awful.
Well, so the thing is though, like if you can control the ads, which I've tried to do a little bit, and to bigger or lesser extent, it really depends because when my whole strategies or whatever seem to be working, they're working fine. When they don't work at all, it falls so flat it's not even funny. Yeah. But I think that part of it's just the culture of Twitch that I was never part of. Calling your chat. I don't I talked about this the other day. Actually, I've never called them chat. I've never. Even my son earlier, when the way he was talking to the kid streams was like he would talk like he sees the YouTubers who were on Twitch talking. He'd like, and I've never talked like that to whether you want to call it my chat or the lovely people who come and support my stream, as I like to put it. But I guess for me, it was like I've always had ads. So I don't get the offense. Especially
those. I am like I come into. I've taken a step back. Like I'm not on Twitch as much as I was, obviously. But even coming into Twitch and jumping into people's streams, it's a pain in the ass sitting through that 30 seconds at the start of the stream. I just want to see the fucking stream.
well, that's the whole thing why I wanted to kind of control them a little bit, because
That's not a controversy though. I think everyone hates the shit.
I mean, I don't know. I pay for Twitch Turbo, so I haven't watched an ad in 4 months for anybody's stream.
Okay,
but I will say, like, going in and I want to say hi to somebody, and then you go to say hi, and you see like it's what's even worse about it is you don't get the ad immediately. It gives you like 5 seconds to like think you're gonna actually be able to watch the stream, and then it hits you like a truck running you over.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube has ads as well, but the difference is that I can skip them after 5 seconds or something similar. I don't know. I know that Bill's got to be paid Falcon, that it's a revenue stream for Twitch and streamers, but it doesn't mean it's not annoying. Yeah.
Exactly, though.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the problem is that they're pre-roll ads, though, really. I think that's... Anyway, I can talk about ads for forever. Yeah. There's a lot of that I looked into and I unpacked and I watched hours worth of content on it.
Yeah. And that's what I love about this one-on-one interview style, or even the four-way stuff, is having somebody to bounce ideas off and talk about all sorts of rubbish.
I bounce ideas off people really constantly. I attack people with my ideas. Like, I came at you, I was like, dude, you got to get on the podcast. You got to be the first guest. You're going to be amazing.
Yeah. It was good. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
So, oh my God. My brain's not going to work now. I had something. Nope, no idea.
Superpower.
Oh, did I forget to ask you the superpower? Oh, man, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? While I try to collect where I was looking.
Yeah, so I've had the same superpower that I've wanted to have since I was in high school. I used to read these fantasy novels by an author named Piers Anthony. I don't know if anyone's read them before. Set in the world of Xanth. Every person had a superpower. The one power, there was this kid, he was a prince, and his power was to be able to change into any animal or like magical creature like dragon and rock and basilisk and all that sort of stuff. That would be my superpower, being able to change into any animal or creature.
Sounds almost like the Animorphs to me.
Animorphs was cool too.
So now that I have my brain back, if you could go back when you started Twitch back in March, or even if you want to do May when you're an affiliate, what is the one single piece of advice, or two? I guess I'll let two because I feel like there's more than one that'll come up. But what advice would you give yourself if you could go all the way back to the start?
It would be around expectations, I guess, like just sort of relaxing, not sort of expecting that anything significant is going to happen with the future of Twitch and my career on Twitch. Yeah, keeping a level head, I guess, and not sort of putting the cart before the horse necessarily, something like that.
I mean,
Prince Dolph. George knows it. Yes.
I think that's a good one. How about, would that be the same advice you'd give yourself now? Like if you were to go back into streaming, would that be the same piece of advice, or would you have some slightly different advice? Because I feel like I would give myself certain advice back then, but now my advice might be slightly different, if that makes any sense.
What? Sorry, I missed the question. What was the last one?
If you would give yourself a piece of advice now, what would it be? It's okay if it's the same.
Is that different to?
I think so. For me, the difference is, so like if I were to give myself a piece of advice for when I started, it would be, I mean, I guess this is also me. It would be interact on Twitch more before I started. Don't give up on having a slightly more niche experience so quickly, so that you can like have time to grow your community a little bit better and maybe get people to come and stuff like that. Whereas now it would be like, dude, you're not going to get 20 viewers every stream. Just get over it and try to make good quality content.
Yeah. I think being variety streamer is really hard. Probably more hard than being a niche streamer. Like, and it's something that I learned like when I was sort of studying around business and when I did the personal development stuff with Laura and my wife, there is a lot of benefit to being very niched with who your target audience is and who your market is, what you're trying to sell. So I think having a niche, if I could be more niched, I would have had a better outcome as well. And I think I'm talking about my YouTube content as well. Like if you check out my YouTube channel, there's how-to guides for Hollow Knight. There's top 5 countdown videos on a bunch of other games. There's how to be an effective Twitch streamer videos. Like there's no niche there. There's smatterings of random stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than really targeted, and the problem is that like a person comes to your Dark Souls stream and goes, "Oh, cool, this guy's awesome. He plays Dark Souls. I love Dark Souls." And then you say, "Oh, well, tomorrow I'm playing, Barbie's Love House or whatever it's, whatever you play next." And they're like, "Oh, that's shit. I'm not going to go to that one." And then they just forget about you and move on and keep watching the person that's playing Dark Souls. So I think if I could have being niched and playing, Metroidvania games or focusing on one game and getting good at it, or targeting a specific audience, I think is probably really important and something that I really struggled with and didn't do.
I think what I want to look into for that, as far as that goes, is looking at some almost like either a broader niche or like not just like Zelda. For instance, one of the things that got brought up is, so you don't have to do Zelda. When people think of niche, they think do Dark Souls, do Zelda. You can be like a Nintendo streamer, and you'll probably still, and then kind of like attacking just a certain area, like Zelda / action maybe. So like people know like you're not going to be playing Zelda one day and then Slime Rancher the next day, for instance, where you're just complete, or Stardew, I guess might be a better example. But that's what I'm going to be looking into myself, is maybe doing like a broader niche.
Yeah. I think you should. I think it's probably like I couldn't do it because I just don't want to play Breath of the Wild all the time.
Exactly, that's what.
I like playing a whole bunch of different games, but then I don't know whether that impacted my average viewership or my growth or what have you longer term. I think that's what the challenge is with the variety stuff. George says, "Do you wish Twitch worked better for non-gaming topics? Do you wish Twitch worked better for example, talking about Piers Anthony, other books you love?" I love that about Twitch, though. I think that Twitch is a great platform to be able to talk random nonsense and rubbish, George. Like I can't think of. I think that's one of the best things about Twitch is that you can do whatever you want on Twitch. Like you could do a podcast just talking about Piers Anthony books. Not that anyone will watch it, but you could do it, and you can't do that. Like you could do it on YouTube, obviously, as well, but it's not live. The great thing about Twitch is that you can play a game for 3 hours and then talk about whatever you want while you're playing it, which I do love that about Twitch.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm a very big video game person, so I way more appreciative of gaming stuff. Even when I made the podcast, I got a lot of hope because I was like, "Oh, streamers Unmasked," and somebody's like, "Oh, so you're gonna ask like," I think it was George. He's like, "Oh, so you're gonna ask like real life questions," and I'm like, "No, I'm just talking about gaming and streaming, man." And he's just like, you just told me two different things." So originally it was literally going to be
streaming stuff isn't necessarily unmasking somebody. Is that what you meant?
I mean, I think the streaming part is a lot, and a lot of the different discussions about like what you're looking to improve that you can come up with, or some of the bumps in the road, or what's the best stream, what's the worst stream. I think a lot of that would get you closer to the person, because a lot of the time when you're streaming, those are almost like taboo topics. Like you're playing a game and you start talking about, like, let's just say I'm in the middle of a game, start talking about why I made my sub goal 1. There's a group of people who don't care about Zelshot that are just gone. They're like, okay, it's cool. Okay, I was interested in what you were doing in the game, and now you brought all your streamer mumbo jumbo into it.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh. think it's
It's tough to
almost
be
time.
real. Yeah. Again, I think some people who love to talk about that stuff will stay, and some people who feel uncomfortable about it or don't want to watch somebody talk about the challenges of Twitch maybe won't stay.
I think that's part of the thing where you can put some of your more variety stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of what I'm going to try to do on Fridays, because I'm going to call it Fuck It Friday, I want to do the podcast with lovely people like you. I'm still so happy that you agreed to do this. But I think it's going to be the more variety stuff. I think Fridays are like my weekday anyway. Week as in WEAK. Where it's not going to be the same viewership. Because, I mean, it's Friday. People are enjoying their life, not just watching a self-stream. But I think some of the other stuff, like the podcast, is better on YouTube than, like, let's say if I just put a stream highlights up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you're talking about you're not quite sure what to do with Fridays because it's your weekday and you're testing some things. That's the other challenge with Twitch as well, is that there is a lot of randomness to it, but then you're trying to test stuff, but you're testing it in real time, like you're testing it live, which is tough.
Yeah. Fuck it, I'll do it live.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, I'm starting to feel like I'm taking your whole day away from you. No.
Yeah.
Are we looking at time, Joey?
Jump off soon, I think.
All right. You want to do the little bit at the end? You want to do a little bit of unmasking?
I can give it a try. Yeah.
Give it a try?
I don't really know what to talk about. I haven't prepared
I think
anything,
speaking from the... No, I think unprepared is the best. I think that's the best way to go. That's what I did when I did it, and I feel like it comes off as honest as it's going to be. So why don't we do that, and then we will say our goodbyes. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
I did too, Zell. Thank you. And thanks to all the viewers as well. Great to see you. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah, I've had a great time.
I love how many people were so happy to see that it was you too. That was like, that's where I didn't tell anybody for that reason, because I was like, I knew some people would definitely have Bree, for instance. Bree was like, I think I know who it is because of the post she put in the Discord, but I'm like, well, Bree, not everybody is in the Discord, so you should just wait. But all right, I will cut to a different scene real quick. We can do that, and then we'll say our goodbyes. All right?
Okay.
All right, we good.
Am I live? Yeah, there I am in the middle there. Okay. All right. I think I'm watching the Twitch stream a little bit delayed. Does the mask come off, or am I?
The mask is off.
It's off. Okay.
You have to take the mask off, Joey.
Hey guys, this is me. My real name is Michael. Great to see you all. I'm a 37-year-old dad living in Australia. I've talked at length about the challenges that I've had with Twitch, I guess. Last year with coronavirus happening and being a stay-at-home dad, unemployed at the time, I had a lot of time to put towards Twitch. I loved it. I worked hard to grow, to put on a good show. I guess at the end of last year, I realized that I was struggling a little bit mentally. I was a little bit disenfranchised. My self-confidence had taken a big hit. I decided that I needed to take some time, and also I didn't have a lot of time. Like, I've got 2 young girls who take a lot of my time. I want to spend a lot of time with them, and a lovely wife. So I've taken a break. I don't know when I'll be back. I'm working more than I ever have. My kids are taking a lot of time more than they ever have. And I'm actually enjoying spending time with them, exploring the world, and also having a little bit of time for myself, which I didn't have heaps of last year either. So I really hope that eventually I can build up the confidence again to come back to streaming and spend some more time with you all. I apologize to anybody who may feel like I've sort of left and don't care. I do care. I really wish you all the success in the world, you guys. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for supporting me last year. And I look forward to sharing some great memories in the future with you all as well. I'm tearing up a little bit as well, guys. Love you all. Thank you all for your time today. I hope to see you guys again soon. And Zell, I wish you all the success in the future as well, buddy. Streaming is fucking hard. It requires a huge dedication and not heaps of, well, I guess it depends on what your goals are, but it can be very, very challenging, time consuming, and sometimes not rewarding, or as rewarding as you'd hope it to be. So I wish you all the best, guys, especially you, Zell. Thanks for having me on today. And if you keep at it, if you decide to keep at it, I wish you all the best. If you decide that it's not for you, that's okay too. All right. That's me. Thanks, guys.
Oh, thank you so much, Joey. Guys, oh my God. That was so... Everybody's tearing up, Joey. That was amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being on here. I appreciate you being honest with us. That's kind of what this is all about. Just that. Oh man, you're killing me. We all love you, Joey, and thank you so much for coming on. This has been the most amazing first episode of the podcast with an actual guest, and that's because you agreed to come on and be here with me and talk this over with me and unmask yourself and show us a piece of who you really are, and I sincerely appreciate that. Sincerely appreciate everybody who's here. Awesome. Oh man, crying over here, dude. All right, guys, so we will be signing off. Thank you so much for coming. I guess I'm putting this on YouTube for better or for worse, so bunch of fools. Right, those eyes. So if you're loving it, if you love Joey and me, you want to see more of this, like, subscribe, whatever garbage. It sounds so fucking cliche to say that, especially after all those amazing, lovely words, Joey. Oh man. But I hope you have a great time. I hope to hear from you. You know I'm going to be in touch. Yeah. Oh, fuck. We should raid somebody. As I'm sitting here, like... Thank you so much. Seriously, dude. Oh, my God.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Great to see you.
Don't know where to cut people off. So Joey's dead now. I killed him. That's the sound of Joey dying, guys. Thank you guys so much. Big shout out to Joey. It was amazing of him to take the time out to come on here today because I know he's very busy. He hasn't shamed himself, so I will just keep thanking him for being here and for making this such a wonderful experience, guys. Oh man, awesome. I hope to see you guys on Sunday. I'm gonna be playing some more Hades. Bring him back, you son of a bitch. I know, but we have to end. Joey has to go do. Thank you for the 5 gift subs, Tumnus. Joey's got. I kept Joey for longer than he was planning on being here, guys. I did. He was awesome. He came in. Oh man, I don't even have the right words, man.
Big Old Tumnus gifted a tier 1 sub to KH Guides. Big Old Tumnus gifted a tier 1 sub to Donda Plays. Big Old Tumnus gifted a tier 1 sub to Liljoeyjojo.
Yeah, I kept Joey for way too long, guys, okay? I kept him for too long. It was supposed to be a little bit shorter, but we just got talking. Reckless podcasters we were. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. I can't even right now. I'm trying to collect my thoughts. Good night, Joey. Good night, everybody. I don't know who's on. Maybe we'll find somebody. That was amazing. I'm so happy that Joey agreed to be on. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I can't even. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to raid. I have no ideas. My brain's broken. Joey killed me, by the way. Joey murdered Zell. Been an awesome stream, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for Joey. Thank you to all you guys. Thank you for the raid, Tumnus. I don't know how to do this. Whatever. We'll just raid somebody. There we go. Guys, have a great night. I'm going to be back on Sunday. I hope you guys enjoy this, and just going to try next Friday. Actually, Jesse's on 23rd. It's the luckiest cat's going to be next week. So on Sunday, actually, I will keep everybody posted. My brain's dead. Joey killed me. You are all amazing. Thank you so much for being here. All right, here we go. Let's just go spread some love elsewhere. How about that? Sound good, everybody? We will go spread some Zelda love. Some Zelda love. So long as the person doesn't. You guys all have a great night. I hope to catch you here Sunday when we play through some more Hades. Thank you so much to Joey again. I will be putting this on YouTube. So if you want to see parts of it and you missed it, I will be trying to cut this and have it up by Sunday morning, hopefully. We're going to raid Paramixup, who is a lovely streamer here on Twitch, who's currently playing some Zelda. Everybody have a great night. I don't have words. Can't thank everybody and Joey enough for being here. My lovely kids who came on earlier. Amazing fun today. Amazing. Just have a great night, guys.